I get quite a few requests or questions about whether I'll make bottom metal for the Mauser. And the simple response is yes, I hope to someday. But here's a short video on why I have not done that yet. If we start on the right here, this is an Argentine 1909 bottom metal, which is a standard magazine box and a standard screw spacing. To the left is a Turkish 1903, which is a standard screw spacing, but an intermediate box. Now this is a converted one to 8mm. And if you look to the one to the left, this is an original Turkish box. And basically what the Turkish did was they cut the front off and welded a new front to the box, lengthening it for the 8mm. So as you can see, the spacing from the front of the box to the screw is different on intermediates than a standard, but the same screw spacing. Now, of course, if you add in the differences in caliber dimensions, that also changes your taper and the width of the taper angles as well as length. So moving down the line, then we have what's an intermediate box, and this is like your FN or Yugoslavia in 1924. Most people will tell these apart by the quote-unquote backwards lock screw spacing. So this is an intermediate action with an intermediate screw spacing. To the left of it is a Swedish 1896, which if you look, the box dimensions and screw spacing is nearly identical from the intermediate and the Swede 96. And then if you look to the left of that, this is a Turkish 1893, which was converted to 8mm. And to the left of that is a Mexican 1910. Now, if you see, a lot of people will use the Swede box for the Mexican, but the Swede box is quite a bit further forward, and this is because of the 6.5x55 has a longer bullet. Now the 1893, this is also lengthened just like the Turk 1903, so it originally would have been shorter. Okay, so now the Mexican is unique in and of itself because it's basically an 1893 on a 98 action. And then to the left, we have the vulnerable Kerrs. Now this is a Blackburn unit that I bought secondhand. So we have Kerrs screw spacing, the Mexican and 1893 screw spacing, the intermediate screw spacing, and the standard length screw spacing, as well as standard magazine boxes, intermediate magazine boxes, Mexican 1893 magazine boxes, and Kerrs magazine boxes. On top of that, you also have the different taper angles, taper widths, and lengths for cartridges. There is some overlap, but to get a Mauser to feed correctly, you really should cut the magazine box for the specific cartridge. You quickly get dozens of variations. And ultimately, the biggest problem with the custom rifle field is no matter what I make, it will be the wrong one. So this confusing pile of specs and variations is the reason why I have not yet jumped into this market.